What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for A Quiet Place Part 2. Finally watched the film, just got back from the theater, and man, I absolutely fucking adored this film, man. This is, without a doubt, one of the best horror sequels ever made. And hell, I'ma say it, this is honestly better than the original. I honestly like this film more than the original. It is that good. This is the Silent Hill 2 to its Silent Hill. I've never played a Silent Hill game, but y'all get my point. This movie was fucking awesome, man, and I absolutely fucking loved it. Shout out to John Krasinski, man. He is one of the biggest rising stars in horror. If this man makes another Quiet Place, if he makes a Quiet Place 3, fantastic. If he does another horror film, great. Hell, if they just give this, if Marvel gives this man Fantastic Four, and him and Emily Blunt are playing Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic, fucking brilliant, man. But anyway, guys, enough jibber jabber, let's just go. So, of course, the movie is once again directed by John Krasinski and stars Cillian Murphy, John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, Noah Jupe, whatever, and Millicent Simmons. And of course, the plot of A Quiet Place 2. Following the deadly events at home, the Abbott family must face the terrors of the outside world as they continue to fight for survival in silence. Forced to venture into the unknown, they quickly realize that the creatures that hunt by sound are not the only threats that lurk beyond the sand. Now, one thing we gotta get out of this way right now is the cast. The cast for this film is fucking amazing. Cillian Murphy, which I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've seen this dude in anything that wasn't a Christopher Nolan film, because I swear to you, I've only ever seen this dude in Nolan movies, whether it's a Dark Knight trilogy, a Scarecrow, or a fucking Dunkirk, or Inception. I think he was also in Tenet as well, not sure. I only see this dude in Nolan films. This is literally the first time I've ever seen him in anything that wasn't made by Christopher Nolan. He was fantastic, man. He was great. Emily Blunt, bro, this woman can do no wrong. She was absolutely fucking fantastic in this film, and she's so good. If I do not see Oscar noms for her, for Millicent, for John Krasinski for Best Director, Cinematography, Best Picture, we're gonna have problems. At least this way, I better see at least Best Director, Best Cinematography, and Best Actors and Best Supporting Actors for the Oscars for Quiet Place 2. I hope this doesn't end up like Hereditary where it gets completely fucked. You know, hopefully that won't happen, because otherwise I'm gonna be pissed. Really fucking pissed. But yo, she was absolutely fantastic in the film, and she was so good, man. Emily Blunt is so good, man. But without a doubt, the MVP of this film, it has to be Millicent Simmons. She is so fucking good, man. In the first film, she was great, but here in the sequel, man, she really gets to shine, and she's just so good, man. Her performance is absolutely fucking fantastic. Like I said before, if this one doesn't get Best Supporting Actress nom, at the very least, we're gonna have problems. She was so fucking good. So besides me gushing about the cast, the direction, this has to be one of the best directed horror films I've seen ever. John Krasinski did an absolutely amazing job, man. Shout outs to him. He should be proud of his work on this film, because it was absolutely fucking fantastic, man. This is definitely has his stamp all over, man. Same way when you watch a Christopher Nolan film, you know it's a Christopher Nolan film. Same thing with James Cameron, man. So good, man. This movie was one of the best directed films, horror films I've seen probably ever, man. It was that good. The cinematography, oh my god, the cinematography of this film is so good, man. The cinematography, so good. Whoever the cinematographer is, shout outs to you, man. Hopefully, that person did an absolutely bang up job, man. So fucking good. One other thing I also really did enjoy was I really dug the relationship between Emmett and Reagan, who are Cillian Murphy's character, and Millicent Simmons. I really dug the relationship as they try to figure out and try to work together with each other, because he doesn't know sign language, while of course she can't fucking hear. So seeing them try to communicate, just their own relationship throughout the film was a great sight. It was a great watch, man. I love watching their relationship grow and them trying to communicate with each other as the film progresses, man. Of course, the suspense and tension in this film is top tier, man. You are always at the edge of your seat throughout the entire film, wanting to be like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. You know, like especially when the creatures start to come in, man. You are there locked in, be like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Someone gonna get eaten today. Will they survive? Will they find a way around it? The suspense and tension, man, was on point. And one of my favorite sections in the first film that I also really dug in the sequel, and I think might have been even done slightly better here, was whenever we switch over completely to Reagan's perspective, and and there's like no sound around us. You can't hear shit. Those are some of the best parts of the first film, and that once again continues on here. Those scenes are so special, especially when you see like the monsters and shit, like in the background. It's so good, man. It's so fucking good. So good. Those are one of my favorite parts of the first film, and they once again are one of my favorite parts of the sequel as well. One other thing that was really, really cool, which actually, fun fact, when I saw this film, literally I was the only one in the theater. Legit, I was all by myself. Nobody else was there, which was quite surprising, because I thought there would at least be like a couple people in there, but nah, I had that theater all to myself. Which on the one hand, I was kind of shocked by, because I think at least someone else would be there, but Fast 9 came out this week as well, so probably everyone was watching that. But so yeah, I had the time of my life, just being as loud as I wanted to be, and just not having to worry about anyone else. It's honestly pretty cool and pretty fun when you have an entire theater to yourself. It's a good time, man. It's a good time. But yeah, man, I love how the film started off with day one, on how all this shit went down in the first place. It was very much akin to the opening of The Last of Us, and y'all know how much I fucking adore The Last of Us. I love its opening, and then what continues on here, man. It was so good. I love that opening. I love how the film opens, man. I already mentioned the cinematography of the monster designs. Can we talk about the monster design real quick, man? The monster design of the creatures in this film is so fucking good. They're like clickers mixed with venom. They look so cool. Because in the first film, we never really got a good look at them because, it's a horror film, keep the monsters away, let your imaginations take over and, do the work for you. But because we kind of already got a good look at them in the sequel, which I also really liked how this film takes place right after where the first one left off, after we get like the whole prologue that shows off the opening and like how this whole thing went down in the first place. This picks up right where the first one left off, which I think was really cool. Like the original Halloween 2 was back in the 80s or whatever. I thought that was really cool when Halloween 2 did it, and it was really cool here seeing it in A Quiet Place Part 2, which also would make this a perfect double feature. Watch A Quiet Place Part 1, then watch A Quiet Place Part 2 right after it, bam, you got a good double feature, man. And it's like you're watching one whole movie, Good shit, good shit. But anyway, I love the creature designs. This feel like I said before, they're like clickers mixed with venom. They look so cool, man. And in the sequel, we really get some good looks at them. You get to really appreciate the work, the design, the effects, whatever, the CGI, whatever that went into these creatures, man. They look so good, man. I love the look of these creatures, man. They look so badass. I love the look of them, man. And yeah, man, like, there isn't really much more I can say, obviously, without getting into like spoilers and shit, man. But yeah, if you love the first film, you are definitely gonna love the sequel, man. It was well worth the wait. It was definitely a good call to not release this on fucking Netflix or Amazon or whatever. There was a good idea that they left this, because this is definitely the type of film you gotta see in the theater, man. You gotta see this in the theater, man. It is that damn good with the sound and everything. And I don't know if this went to IMAX or hell. You can watch this movie in IMAX, yo, right before, with those big ass speakers behind you. Shit, that'll make you even more immersed, man. So, definitely check this movie out in theaters if you guys can, man. It was so fucking good. I absolutely loved it, man. And also, with how greatly directed John Krasinski did this film, man, this is the kind of film that just drives me more to make my own shit, man. So good. Now, of course, like everything, this movie did have some bugs. Not a lot, honestly. I have to really think about these, man. And and these are more or less probably glorified nitpicks at best, man. But couple things. One, Marcus, he kinda dumb. He kinda dumb in this film, man. He is the character where you're gonna be screaming at your TVs at. You're like, what the fuck you doing, man? What you doing? He'd be the character that, now granted, a lot of the stuff you can make that, just happen in the moment. And it's not as egregious as some other horror films where you're just like, man, you're retarded. But you are gonna be like, bro, stop! What are you doing? What are you doing, fam? But then again, he does redeem himself at the end of the film, so it's all good, man. The ending was also fantastic as well, man. Don't know if they're gonna make a third one. Hell, I could care less. You don't need to make a third one. Hey, if they make a third one, man, shit, I'm in. I'm in to make this a trilogy. But one other thing that I noticed that was kind of a little iffy about was something gets shown off around the midpoint of the film without getting into spoilers, and it's like never brought up again They never make any mention of it or anything. They just kind of show it and then fuck off. You know, which, now if they make a third one, they could probably elaborate on it then. But that was something I also kind of noticed, where I was like, if I have to pick flaws, that was still a little like, you know, you should maybe, elaborate on this and try to just like, rather than just show it off and go, you know. But besides that, man, like I said, these are more or less nitpicks at this point, man. This film is absolutely fantastic. One of the best horror films I've seen in recent memory. One of the best horror sequels ever made, man. Like I said before, I definitely think this is better than the original, man. And it's just good to see that American horror films are once again back at their former glory. Because I'm sure most of us remember how a lot of horror films in 2010s weren't all that good. A lot of them were kind of cheap, jump scare flicks. There were not much substance to any of them. Until then we got like shit like The Babadook, which I thought was pretty good, but I didn't love it as much as a lot of other people did. It Follows was fantastic. Then you had A Quiet Place, Hereditary, and Halloween 2018 all in the same year, man. And that's when American horror finally regained its former glory. No longer must we resort to going over to Asian horror, to the Grudges, the Ju-ons, the Korean horror films of the world to finally get our horror fix. Once again, we are back in business, man. Anyway, guys, so yeah. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. What you guys thought of the film? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you think? This is better than the original one? Do you want the third one? Do you think it should just end here? Do you think John Krasinski should direct Fantastic Four? Leave that all down below in the comments, guys. But yeah, man. Overall, I give this film, of course, a 10 out of fucking 10. And anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe for me. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Flagging. Links down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time. She's